For second take of this, my camera over here, so I have to do it all again. Hey guys, how you doing? My name is CODENAMEBIGBEAR, or Stuart, if you want to call me by my first name. Welcome to the Bear's Den. So today, we're going to be talking about games I played over the last month. So this is my month in gaming. There's going to be quite a few here. I think about 10 or so. But, you know, stick with it. I'm going to talk about the games that you know I played, so the reviews I've done. And I'm going to go from there, basically. So first off, I'm going to talk about Alan Wake. Alan Wake is a fantastic game. I gave it a rating of 9.999. It's actually now a 10. It's a perfect game. It's so good. The story, the atmosphere, the whole light mechanics, fantastic. It really is just amazing. I also played Alan Wake's American Nightmare. Yeah, American Nightmare, and that's also a great game. I would give that an 8 out of 10, but I'm going to talk about that more in depth in a video in the future. It's just, I mean, the story just wasn't as good in that game, which is a bit of a shame. But the mechanics, the fighting mechanics, the new weapons, everything else you get, they're really cool. But I'm going to talk about that, as I said, in a future video. Another game I played you might know about is Bounty Battle. It's a cool one-on-one fighting game where you play as indie characters, as well as created by Bounty Battle team. You play as indie characters such as Juan from Guacamelee, the Dead Cells dude, Owlboy, you know, those kind of characters, and it's really nice. It's really lovely hand-drawn characters. Even like ones from Axiom Verge have been more highly detailed, and it just looks really cool as well. It's a pretty good fighting game. I'd say give it a go. I only played it one player. I don't know how the online is with that game, but it's available on most consoles, so, you know, give it a go. But one of my favourite games I played this month is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. This, it's just fantastic. An amazing recreation of the two classic Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games. And Tony Hawk's 2 is just so good. I mean, that game is number 3 in Metacritic, or number 2. It is up there as one of the greatest games of all time. And they've improved on it. I just don't know how they've done that. They've improved on it. You know, having the modern mechanics in it, like to be able to manual things like that, just changed the game up so much. It really does. The revert, chaining combos, you know, the new goals you got, the new, well, the customization you got in this game is not amazing, but it's quite vast on what clothing you can have for your character, and it's so good. It's just such a good game. Another game I played just actually a few days ago was Stay. I found this on the eShop for, I think, about 89p. It might even been 99p, I don't know. It was not very much money at all. And I kind of at first was like, yeah, I'm not really too fussed about this. Doesn't really look like my kind of thing. Watched the trailer and one bit just caught me, and I was like, okay, that looks really interesting. So I put it on and started playing it. And apart from the first hour, I pretty much played it solid all the way through. It ended up being about a 7-hour playthrough. That was because I'm not very good at the puzzles. The puzzles are really difficult in this game. There's not many of them, but they can, there's no clues on how to do them. You just got to figure it out yourself. And you're playing as this character Quinn, who was kidnapped earlier in the game. He was kidnapped, but then thrown into this room with just a computer, and he can't see a thing. There's no light. This computer screen's on, and he's like, okay, I'm going to check things out. And he starts talking to you. You are also in this game, and you're aiding Quinn in the way to get out of this room. Whilst gaining his trust and becoming his friend, you help him make decisions throughout the game, or you help him with his mental state. You know, if you answer a question wrong, or say wrong, answer a question at the wrong time with the wrong response, you get a negative trust in you, and your friendship kind of decreases as well. And this is shown in a menu where two hands kind of join together, and then they release, and they say they start here, and they do this, and they go here. You know, it shows you're going to become friends by the end of this. But you know, there's lots of other things to it. But the whole thing is about mental states. It kind of analyzes you as you're playing along. It's really interesting and well worth a play. It's been out on the PC for a while now as well. But yeah, under £1 I think it was. So definitely play Stay. I'm going to give that game 7 out of 10. It's a really cool game. Another game I was playing recently was, well, a game I've talked about before, was Switch and Shoot. It's not come out this month, but I've been playing it, and it's just such a cool game. It's just a really simple shooter. It's an arcade style kind of shooter. Your ship goes across the bottom, you only press one button, and every time you press it, it fires a bullet and it changes the direction you're going in. And you've just got to collect these power-ups and get your way through. I've got to the final I've got to one of the bosses once. This game absolutely destroys me, but I do really enjoy it. You can play it in tape mode as well, which is the portrait mode, which if you have a grip, that can be really helpful. But you can do certain things where you can, if you can prop it up, you can have a really cool cool experience with it. So another game I'm going to talk about today is a game that I reviewed a few weeks ago, and it was so disappointing. I haven't played it at all since I finished it because I have no interest in it at all. With how money grabbing it is, it just really wasn't my thing. Especially, probably already guessed by now. I was talking about Avengers. This game has so much potential, so much potential. There's the main story and the combat's pretty cool, but you didn't get to feel like a superhero. What they should have done is kept the campaign separate from the multiplayer outright. You know, you could unlock some outfits for multiplayer through it, but you should be able to level up all the characters at the same time. You know, so when you get Black Widow late game and you've gone to level 22, you could level Black Widow to 22 straight away so she can have the cool, badass moves that she has. But I never got to those really cool, badass moves because, I couldn't get to feel like the character I wanted to feel like. Incredible Hulk, for instance. You know, he can lift unbelievable amounts. He is unbelievably strong. He can jump literal miles at once, in one go, miles. And when you run in as him and you punch a character and he just falls to the ground with some health, he should be flying, just gone, decimated, split in half, whatever. He just shouldn't be around anymore. And that was just another thing. By the end of the game, you have this really cool boss fight. And it's a really cool one, like use all the characters and stuff. But because you don't have all the characters' best abilities, you don't get to feel like the Avengers. And that's really disappointing. The best way to play this game is level up the characters in multiplayer before you play the campaign. Get your characters up to a really cool standard, and then play the game. But you're probably going to be bored of the multiplayer by the time you've done that. It's such a grind fest. By the time you play the game, you're not going to be interested, you won't even care anyway. So, I don't know, just really disappointing. I'm going to start talking about Avengers because it's going to make me angry. A really obvious game I played is the Mario 3D All-Stars. So 3 games there: Mario Galaxy, Mario Sunshine, Mario 64. Just amazing games. I get the collection of 9. Individually, they will get different grades, but I'm not going to go into that. Can't be bothered, to be honest. But yeah, you play through these classic Mario 3D games, and you just kind of fall. Nostalgia washes all over me because I played these when he first came out as well. But Mario Galaxy is just absolutely incredible. The motion controls, it really works. It's very simple to recenter. You just hit the R button and it recenters to where you are, and it just tracks where you think. You don't have to have pointed at the screen or anything like that. The waggle controls are much more responsive as well, which is really nice. But you can play it without that, so that's cool. Mario Sunshine. Again, the only issue I really had was with the aiming with the FLUDD, but the camera I feel is vastly improved from what I remember, and the story's just really good and it looks really great. If you find comparison videos of the GameCube version versus this one, it looks really nice and crisp and fully colourful. It's just a really cool looking game and definitely worth playing. If you had worries about it, just stick with it. I promise you will enjoy this game, but stick with it. And then Mario 64. Just a classic. I mean, what can I say about Mario 64 that hasn't been said before? It's an amazing game. It's just beyond worth playing. If you can get this collection, which you can apparently. I got the digital because I thought I couldn't get the physical version. But it turns out it's in the shop still either, so you can pick it up. But Mario 64, there's only one major issue, which I didn't address in my previous video, is that camera. It can be a nightmare. For the most part, it's fine. You can kind of get with it. It's okay. But every now and again, it gets trapped on a wall and you can't get you can't get it to where you want to be able to see what you're doing at all times. And then the worst time, it's absolutely the worst in the Bowser battles, because you've got to grab his tail and spin him around and aim him at a bomb. And that's really difficult in the first place with this whole spinning, because there's no lock on or anything, you just got to time it right. And if you haven't got the right view on it, you don't know where you're actually really aiming, and it's a pain in the bum. But yeah, Mario 64, amazing game. Well, all 3 of them are pretty good, to be honest. And finally, I'm going to talk about one of the games that I've avoided for quite a while since it came out. I don't really know why after playing it, because it's flipping awesome. It is a genuinely great game. When I did my Bounty Battle video a few weeks ago, I'd only just started playing this game and I fell in love with it. and that is Guacamelee. Now, what I mean by that is in Bounce Battle, I call Juan my boy. You know, I think he's like, yes, he's a legend. He's my new favorite character, and I genuinely mean that. This game surprised me with how good it was. It's a Metroidvania style game, so essentially a large-ish open world. You can kind of go to levels at all times in semi any order you want to get to them. You kind of fall across a linear path without really feeling like that, because you can go off and do other things. You don't have to go to the main bit straight away, but if you want to progress in the story, you do. I'm rambling, I apologize. Guacamelee, you play as Juan, and he tried to rescue the Princess El Presidente's daughter from Calica, who is taken over the underworld. He's actually kicked El Diablo out. That's the devil, by the way. He ends up killing you, and you end up in the underworld, and you find an old wrestling mask, and you put it on, and you become the superhero luchador. And throughout, yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, luchador, we don't know who you are, but thank you for saving our town," and things like this. And it's just a really cool game. You've got some great enemy designs of all these skeletons and these mad beasts and chupacabras. Chupacabras? Might pronounce that wrong, I apologise if I did. And even the main bosses are really cool. You got this one dude who's got like flames for a head, and he shoots his gun. He's always trying to shoot you and running out with bullets. It's really quite amusing. This is a funny game as well. Tons of references to loads of other games. I'd like to go into details more about this game, but I'm going to do that once I finish the second game. I'm going to do them both together. But yeah, this game right now, as I'm standing here, is an 8.5 out of 10. I don't normally do 0.5s, but it's just so good. It's not quite there because I did find it quite frustrating in places. But again, I'm going to go into that 8.5 out of 10. It's Guacamelee. Just such a good game. Just play. If you like wrestling, if you like luchador, play this game. It's so good. You can do suplexes and pile drivers. Yes, it's always fun. Always fun. So guys, that is the end of Bear's Den this week. Thank you very much for watching. It's much appreciated. You've seen the banners go across the bottom of the screen. You know, check them out. Check out all the links that are below as well. It goes to Facebook, Instagram, and all that. But like, share, subscribe, put a comment down below. You know, it really helps us out with the algorithm to be seen and found. You know, anything. You can put just a letter, a number. You could just write, you know, if you think that I did a really good job, please put that. That'd be great. I'd love it. If I did a bad job, if you think I did really poorly, then yeah, say that as well. You know, like anything. It really helps us out. But guys, most of all, on everything, what I want you to remember to do is just, you know, be nice to each other, yeah?